What's going on, folks? Grandison Shines here with Seduire International, and welcome to another episode of the Silver Tongue Podcast at Seduire International production. Today we have an exciting guest. Got to make sure that's muted. We have an exciting guest. We got some information for you that we're going to be talking about from one of the coaches that went through our program. But before we get into all that, let me introduce my favorite coach here at Seduire International. I should say one of my favorite coaches, because all the other coaches may be watching this too. What's your name there, dear?
Hello and good morning, everyone. I'm Yasmin Murray with Seduire International, and definitely we have a really amazing guest today because we have known him for the last 4 years, Grandison?
Yeah, at least 4 years. Yeah.
Kind of raised him.
Raised him from a little tiny tot now to this leader, right? So yes, absolutely. I will be introducing Jeremiah Boswell here in a second. We have a lot going on right now. I'm so busy. Yasmin, I know you're busy. We work together, so we're always in the trenches. But we have a lot of exciting things going on. We have a few different events for you that are listening. This Friday, excuse me, May 20th, we have a cigar event that's going to be at RJ's. And if you're around in the local area here in Arizona, come out to RJ's. He's in Mesa. We're going to be raffling off a 65-inch TV.
That's great. And it's with Rocky Patel.
Yes, the Rocky Patel event too. Now, I can't say that Rocky Patel is going to be there. I don't think he's going to be there.
No, he's not. His cigars are.
His cigars will be there for sure. That's for sure. What did you say, Yasmin?
I said, no, his cigars will be there.
Cigars will be there all the time at the wrap. You can buy them there. In fact, you can start, if you call RJ's now, you can buy you can buy cigars that will give you the raffle tickets to get in and win the 65-inch TV. Evidently, there's a seat that if you sit there, for some reason, this seat is like magical. People always end up winning. So I'm going to get there first. Not that I need it, but I'm going to make sure I get there. So you have to fight me. I know Kung Fu. So
it's funny you say that because yesterday I said, well, I'll get there at 5:30. He said, well, I'll just get there at 5. Yeah. Now I know why the urgency, Grandison.
Yes, the seat. Remember, Rick was telling us about that seat there. So once we sit on that seat, I'm just going to hog it the whole entire night, drink some whiskey, smoke a cigar, relax, and then win the 65-inch TV. Sorry, folks. I'm a winner like that. That's all good. We have another event coming up with Coach Joe Mormon. In fact, let me get the exact data for you. Thursday, May 19th, which is tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. So if you're in the Pacific area or the West Coast area, you're going to make sure you get there a little bit early because may have a full class here. He's going to be talking about some free online training, talking about the truth about how communication skills can get you clients. In fact, one of our guests today, he can vouch to that too, because we taught communication at the organization, but communication skills can get you clients. You can register if you're an entrepreneur and you have a service-based business. Not that a product-based business not that a product-based business can't get all the information as well. But if you have a service-based business, make sure you go there. Seduire International, SeduireIntl.com/6 important skills. I'll say that again, I'll spell it out. Seduire Intl, SeduireIntl.com/6 important skills, all one word. You go there, register, make sure you get your seat for the actual live training. And then you'll see, he's going to talk about those 6 important skills. So I'm not going to reveal those. And then Coach Al Gleason, the beginning of June 1st, that Wednesday, he has an online training as well. He's going to talk about how to accelerate in a time of coasting, post-pandemic, right? Has inflation, war, and general uncertainty paralyzed you? You can register there at Seduire, SeduireIntl.com/accelerate. Just one word, accelerate. There, Al's going to be talking about how you can get out of this rut. You feel like you're stuck, feel like you're paralyzed. There's a lot going on in our environment. And if we are not masters of our mind, will, imagination, emotions, and intellect, which is the 5 parts of the authentic self modality, that will definitely paralyze you if you don't have control over those 5 parts. Yasmin, you're going to be the actual. Well, you'll be there at the other events too, right? You'll be at the cigar event. You'll be at the other 2 events with Coach Al and Coach.
Yeah,
Coach Joe. Yeah.
of course.
All right.
Unless I'm on vacation, you're sending me on some great vacation.
Speaking of vacation, she's trying to cajole me, twist my arm into going to. We may have to go to Pakistan with a client, and if we had to go to Pakistan, I personally do not like those long flights.
I told you we'll put you in business.
I do not like those long flights. What do you say?
Put you in the business section. You can enjoy.
Yeah, that's true too, but I don't know, something about long flights.
Yeah, look at what's at the end of it. Another client wants us to go to Morocco. Come on, who wouldn't want to go to Morocco and Casablanca?
Okay, that's a shorter flight by a whole 7 hours. I can maybe finagle that one.
You know what? You hold a fort here in USA. Let me do the travel. I like
that idea. I like that idea the best. I like that idea the best. I will hold the fort down here. You can go and do the traveling to the long distance areas. I don't mind going to domestic California, New Jersey.
You're no fun.
Yeah,
no fun at all.
I don't know. You might be able to twist my arm. We'll see.
Did you talk about the YouTube as well?
I'm sorry?
Did you talk about YouTube?
I did not. Shame on me. Slap my hand. Folks, we're probably here at YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Click that notification bell as well. And then you'll get all of our notifications. Click the all for when you click the bell, and you get all the notifications. We host these type of podcasts every Wednesday. We're doing something. We got clients on, we got coaches on, or we just go into the home studio and record. Either way, you got to get something every week. Oh, and by the way, we are now on the worldwide podcast on Spotify, so you can find our podcast there, The Silver Tongue. And we're also on Amazon Music. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on Stitcher. We're on Amazon Music. We're on iTunes. So go there, type in Seduire International. Our business name is unique enough that you will definitely find it. Type in Seduire International, and then you can listen to this information on the go. You can download it, listen to whatever you want to. So thanks for the reminder on that, Yasmin Murray.
You are welcome. While you were not traveling the world.
Yes, exactly. Well, folks, we have an awesome show for you today. We have a gentleman that I will let Yasmin take over from here. And I'm going to be still here. I'll be listening in the background, but she's going to collaborate, talk with him about his experience in the workplace environment at his particular place where he has launched his leadership career. And he's going to dive into some things that will definitely help out. So listen intently, and voila, Yasmin, it's all over to you now.
So the topic today is, I just want to remind the topic, which Grandison forgot as well, is I didn't want or need a leadership coach until this happened in my career. Well, we'll have to ask Jeremiah that, but before we do that, Jeremiah, please do an introduction. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your family. We know you're about to get married. That is exciting times. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for having me today. It's a pleasure. I feel honored. A little bit about myself, my background. I was born and raised in Tucson, Arizona. I now reside in Phoenix, Arizona. I work currently for an organization called Taltech Networks. We are full service communication industry experts. We offer access control, CCTV, DAS, a number of other solutions as well. My family, I have to say, I have 3 beautiful daughters, 3 amazing daughters, and an amazing fiance. My fiance is one of my biggest fans. And I can assure you that I'm probably the biggest thorn in her foot, but she keeps me balanced. So hats off to her.
How old are the kids?
My daughters are 7, 7, and 2.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we have our hands full. We definitely have our hands full. But again, they're amazing daughters. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful little girls.
Wait till the teenage years hit. Then we'll talk.
I'm not looking forward to that, believe me.
So what do you do for fun? I know Teltec is an amazing company. We coach a lot of individuals there. Great boss you have. And I know you've been there. How long have you been at Teltec?
I've been at Teltec. It was 16 years.
Oh my
in
God, you were
January.
just a baby
16
when you
years.
started.
Yes, I was. I was
Wow.
24 when I started.
That is awesome. You know, that tells something about the company, the longevity of you being there and the employees. So there must be something good that the company is doing. So what do you do for fun?
For fun, I'd like to say I used to be a workaholic, and I consider that fun. Like everybody say, what do you do for fun? What do you do for fun? My immediate response was, I work and hang out with my family. Now that I've grown and developed in this position, I've realized that you have to have that work-life balance. So for fun now, what I actually love to do is bowling whenever I get a chance, kayaking, fishing.
Oh, that's great.
However, I have to be honest, I'm not a great fisherman. I've probably caught 5 fish in my 40 years here,
It's
but
okay.
I still enjoy it.
It's the fun. It's the ambiance.
Most
It's the
definitely.
company. Yeah, so no problem. So fishing and bowling. All right.
Yes.
Now I have some heavy duty questions for you.
Okay. All right.
So tell me, talk about your professional experience and career path at Teltec.
My career path at Teltec. Well, let me back up. It's been a long journey. I started off at Teltec as a cable puller in the field, pulling cable from point A to point B. I slowly moved up the ranks from a cable puller to a technician, from a technician to a project lead, then a project foreman. Eventually, after my communication skill sets developed and I felt comfortable in my role, I was promoted to a project manager. I was a project manager for approximately 4 or 5 years, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then as the organization started growing, we needed account managers to manage those project managers. That way the project managers could spend more time on site, and it gave us opportunity to spend more time with the end users. So the account manager was my previous role. I'm currently now the business development manager here at Teltec Networks. So now I have the opportunity to onboard new product, do research and development, as well as bringing in new customers and building those relationships, creating that rapport. And then potentially, once we win the project, I do a handoff process. That handoff process consists of me introducing their AM, PM, and then understanding the customer's expectations.
Mm-hmm.
After that's done, I hand the customer over to his new management crew, and I monitor from a 50-foot view.
Mm-hmm.
Always here to support the customers, end users. That is, in a gist, what my job title consists of right now.
You know, when you said cable guy, I thought of Jim Carrey. You know?
The cable guy.
From cable guy to this position that you have. And this is, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a new created position and you're the only one of its kind in the company?
The only one currently in the company. So
That's
the owner of the
exciting.
company, the owner of the company was our #1 salesman. And he's probably gonna get mad at me for saying this because we don't like to use the word salesman. What we like to say is we develop business, we develop partnerships. But he, for a long time, he was the only person going out, being that face, having that customer interaction, bringing back the business, all while trying to maintain the business.
Mm-hmm.
I was fortunate enough for him to promote me into this position. He put me under his wing, one of my biggest mentors. But I can say that it is kind of hard for him to let go of the reins. So every day I run into new obstacles, but at the end of the day, he is always there to support me. So I'm very, very fortunate.
Yeah, you know, customer experience is really important to him for the company. And the company is where it is today is because of customer experience that you all have provided, starting with your creator, your owner, Todd Kavanaugh. So yeah, kudos to him. And he has developed a lot of you individuals, you as team members. That brings me to the next question. Did you set out to be a leader in your career?
I've always had the mindset that I am going to be a leader. It's never a follower. From my early age, when I started framing, I believe I had to get a permission slip from my mom. It was about 16, to starting off in an apprenticeship role as a cable tech. Then gradually moving up. I always looked at my peers, my supervisors. In the back of my head, I wasn't trying to be cocky, but I always knew, hey, I could do this, if not better, and exceed their expectations. So what I did is I took it upon myself to start shadowing people, to self-educate myself. If somebody said, hey, I need you to pull in these cables, I need you to do this, I was always thinking about the next step. I never wanted to stand around and get direction on, hey, this is next, this is next. With repetition, it kind of just became the norm for me to keep moving, And because of that, I was able to accelerate fairly quickly in my career.
Did you find leadership easy or difficult? Explain.
That's a great question. The old me would say I found leadership easy, especially when I was a lead and a project foreman, because I thought I knew it all. As I moved up in the ranks and I became a project manager and an account manager, it was actually very, very difficult for me. As a lead, you're able to work side by side with these individuals that you've worked with for many years. Everybody understood the end result, and we all knew what each other's capabilities were. Now, when you take yourself out of that role and you start managing from more of a office aspect, you kind of lose that connection with your team. And as your organization grows, as your crew grows, you're not able to have that interaction with your team members. So my crew sizes went from 3 to 5 people to 30 to 40 people.
Mhm.
And what I found myself doing was micromanaging my team. That right there actually hindered their growth. And I started seeing a turnover rate. That's when I started having difficulties being a leader, to be quite honest.
Yeah, you can't micromanage people, because then that means you are spending every waking hour correcting or hovering over those people, because you're micromanaging them, and they don't like it either. And correct me if I'm wrong, that when you got promoted, you now were the boss over your own peers.
You are correct. Well, one thing I do want to say though is micromanagement, I always took that as a negative. Micromanagement is also another form of communication, but the way I was coached originally was, if something's not done right, kind of do it yourself. It's easier to do it quicker yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the right mindset to have.
Why?
So
why?
it ultimately resulted in frustrated employees. They'd shut down, they'd ask to be relocated, and I never really knew why until I was educated on improving my communication skills.
Right. Absolutely. And that brings me to the next question was there ever a time in your career that you thought you needed a leadership coach?
Most definitely. So I believe it was the middle of 2021, I got COVID and I had to take 6 weeks of absence. During that time, there was a company-wide survey sent out to all the employees, basically asking, how was your leadership being effective in the field, and stuff of that nature. So the responses I got back when I returned back to work, I was shocked. It wasn't only from my peers that were unsatisfied with how I was leading the crew. It was also with my employees, my leadership. So it was a rude awakening, and the slap in the face that I needed, just to take a step back and not be that person that thought I knew it all. That's when I realized I need to improve my communication and listening skills.
You're muted.
I'm sorry. There is the lawn guy in the front, and he's making so much noise, and I didn't want to have it take over Jeremiah's talking, so apologize for that. So my question was to you, Jeremiah. So
Yes.
you went through the Seduire coaching program. Elaborate on that experience for our audience.
The Seduire confidence coaching program was a game changer for me. When I originally went to attend the course, I was very guarded, very not on board.
Oh, I remember that.
And you put me, it's a great example. You put me in one of the most awkward situations. We were in a team building event, and the original platform was kind of an open forum. And you put me, we were doing role playing back and forth, and just the questions you were asking me, I thought I knew it all. I thought I could fly off the hip, be savvy, just be on target. But the way you approached me, I was like, wow, I don't even know how to respond. And my team members around me could see my frustration. So that right there was when I knew the coaching was going to be effective, that I needed to just to have an open mind and let it all flow in.
And, I know Granison was your coach during that tenure. How was his coaching, and what did it do for your career?
So Granison, I was fortunate enough to have Granison as my coach. And as far as how it jump-started my career is, originally, I still have, and I am a work in progress to everybody that's listening. My emotional intelligence wasn't dialed in. When somebody, another thing is when somebody would try to talk to me, I was always thinking about a response. I was never listening to that person and effectively digesting the information they were giving me so I could respond accordingly in a more direct and positive response. I was always so quick to come back with something, never truly dissecting the information and processing it so people could see my frustration. People could see that I wasn't able to manage these conversations at a more professional level. With coaching from Granison, he helped me understand that sometimes I just have to take a break, take a step back, digest the information, and it's okay to pause to think about how you're going to respond. That's one of the key things that Granison's taught me, definitely.
The power of the pause, right?
Power of the pause.
So did his coaching just affect your professional life, or did it also affect your personal life?
Well, most definitely affected my personal life. There are key topics, the 8 modalities that I apply daily now. And because I now can think outside the box and put myself in other people's, shoes, primarily my fiance, it's given me the opportunity just to sit back, listen, to understand, digest, and then come back with a more educated response rather than blasting out the first thing that comes to my head, which 9 times out of 10 would get me in trouble.
So were you a hothead?
I can honestly say yes, I was a hothead. I was a hothead in my professional career as well as at home, because I felt like I always had something to prove. The reality is I don't. I just need to understand people, create those partnerships, and work side by side. I never have to be smarter than anybody. I don't always have to know the answers, but the reality is I don't need to know it all. I just have to have somebody in my circle that knows it all or knows that topic, and I need to know where to get that information.
Right,
So,
and we're constantly evolving, we're constantly learning.
Self-education is key. Once you stop investing in yourself, that's when you become stagnant and you get left behind.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely. There's a quote by Aristotle. He says, "He who has never learned to obey can never be a good commander." What does that mean to you? What does it say to you?
That means that you need to be able to take guidance. You need to be able to, like I said before, be open to options. Once you process that information, you may have a different outlook on how to get to the same goal. That's what that means to me.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And as a leader, you're always obeying somebody else, unless you're the owner of the company. Learning to listen and take guidance from your leaders is only going to help you grow, so you can coach and train others. And actually, that brings me to another quote. It says, before you're a leader, success is all about growing yourself. When you become a leader, success is all about growing others. It's by Jack Welch. And that is so true.
Very true.
When you become a leader, you start growth of your developing your people, your team under below you. And if they're frustrated, then you can't really help them, and they can't help you. You are just as strong as your team.
That is so true. That is very, very true. And to be honest, I wish that was shared across the industry. You are the strongest or weakest link in your team. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, 9 times out of 10, people take for granted that you're not in the situation or the position that you are because you knew it all. It's because you developed your team, and your team gave you the opportunity to shine. So sometimes you have to take a step back and show appreciation to the people that got you to where you are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now that brings me to another question. Leadership is so vast. There are so many skills that you have to really develop and perfect. I mean, we can never perfect it, but continuously learn. Give me 3 leadership skills or lessons that you learned in the program with Seduire that were applicable for our listening audience.
So there are so many, Yasmin. I have to honestly say there's a number of skill sets, of coaching material that I would love to share with everybody that's listening. But for me personally, role playing, repetition, and confidence. Those 3 things.
Explain all 3.
Okay, so role playing. So when you think you know it all, and you're in a situation, let's just say even in an interview, and it becomes second nature to you, but then you take yourself out of that element, and you're throwing trick questions, or somebody walks into the room, or something falls behind you. Role playing helps you prepare yourself for any of those awkward situations, any of those uncommon responses that you were not prepared for. So it just gives you the opportunity to play out every scenario possible in an uncomfortable position is the best way to master your art. So role playing is key for me.
And do you know how much you hated it?
I hated it. To this day, I still hate it. But you know what? It's the only way that you can get better. It's honestly the only way you can get better and feel more confident and comfortable in your current situation. So role playing was key, which falls in place with repetition. Mm-hmm. With repetition, especially with role play, you can become an expert at your craft. So role play, repetition, which falls into the next thing, confidence. With repetition, helps you build up your confidence. And there's a fine line between confidence and being cocky or arrogant.
Yes.
Customer never wants to, when I'm trying to sell the business, a customer never wants to sit across the table from me and question my confidence. They want to be assured that I understand the solution that I'm trying to promote or sell. And if I'm unconfident, they're going to be unsure about that sale, and it's probably not going to go in my favor. So you have to be confident in order to close that deal. So again, role playing, which ties in repetition, which builds up your confidence. Those right there are the 3 key things I would say I've taken away and practiced daily.
What about communication?
See, that's what I'm saying. Communication, accountability,
There's a lot.
And leadership skills, yeah. But communication, again, communication skills is key. You have to understand, again, the information that's being given to you, process it, and then respond accordingly. But again, listening skills too. You have to be able to listen
Oh,
the information being given to you in order for you to communicate that response.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Now, I'm going to leave you with the last quote before we go to Granison. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. That is John Maxwell, and that is so true. How does that hold for you?
Wow. You know what? That right there is an amazing quote.
Yeah.
I wish that, again, like before, I wish that some of these quotes that you shared with us today, I wish that that was written on every wall in our office.
Over to you, Granison.
Wow, that was an awesome conversation. I got a lot out of that conversation. Things that I learned about you, Jeremiah, that you have just explained to everyone. So learning how to be a follower, I like the quote you're talking about. I want to accentuate that. Learning how to be a follower first is very important to this whole journey of leadership. It's nonstop understanding how to take criticism, commands, mandates, whatever it is, how to permeate messages down throughout the organization through your team. And then when you ascend to the leadership position, then you have an opportunity to do that. And there's such a barrage of content, information, people, just things from all over when you become a leader that just really positions you to start to have this heightened awareness. So I loved it when I was there. And well, I still am in leadership. When I was in the corporate opportunity, don't like the office politics, one reason why I got out. But listening to you, Jeremiah, warms my heart because you're, and I'm not taking this lightly, one of my favorite coachees. There are some people you may have a little bit of a reluctance in coaching them, but you know it's doing them good. Then there's some you have this affinity for and you love coaching them. You're the latter part there. So
and you know, Granison, he soaked it. He was one of those, he says, give me more, give me more. And he followed, like I said, you have to learn how to follow before you can lead. Yeah. And you were the one that followed a leader and became a great leader, and you continue to do great things. And now you're going to be coaching other individuals to follow suit with you. Yep.
So kudos to you, man. Thank you very much for coming on. It was a pleasure having you on the Silver Tongue broadcast. Thank you for making that effort.
Thank you for having me.
And watching his career grow, he's just gonna grow, continue to grow, you know.
Absolutely.
And we'll come and get your autograph one of these days. Exciting
times. Well, thanks folks for listening. We're talking about I didn't want or need a leadership coach until this happened in my career with Jeremiah Boswell, who is the business development manager at Teltech Networks here in Phoenix. For those of you who are listening, don't forget to click the subscribe button, share this content with your friends, family, and colleagues as well, meaning that they can get some information from listening to our special guest speak as well. And finally, have an awesome, productive, efficient, profitable day. I'm Granison Shines here with Yasmin Murray and our guest, Jeremiah Boswell. Visit our website, Seduire, SEDUIREINTL.com. And we will see you back here next Wednesday with another live broadcast, a live edition of the Silver Tongue broadcast. All right, folks. See you later.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeremiah.
Thank you.